back again with another video. And today I'm doing a little bit of a different video because this is my sister's and her friend AP Euro project. And so it's just going to be about with all that stuff. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell down below so you always get a notification when I post a new video. So let's go.
Hello, and welcome back to Florence's Facts, where I teach all of my uncivilized, poverty-stricken, disease-ridden viewers how to achieve the highest level of sophistication through meaningless rituals and superstitions. Our guest host this week is the one, the only, Her Majesty Queen Victoria.
Hello, my lovely subjects.
Our topic this week is the ins and outs of mourning, the fashion for the funeral, the do's and don'ts when it comes to grieving your deceased, and how to make sure a spirit doesn't possess your soul. Now, Your Majesty, what is the first step when someone happens to expire?
Well, Florence, right after someone has died, all the clocks in the house must be stopped in order to preserve the time of death and make it known to everyone that someone has indeed passed on. As well as this, a wreath made of either yew, boxwood, or laurel tied with black crepe must be hung on the front doorknob, and the door be left slightly ajar so those who wish to mourn may enter without disturbing the body.
Did you say disturbing the body?
Why, yes, just in case she isn't dead, of course.
Did you just assume my gender?
Anyway, what do you mean, not dead?
It is often difficult to determine whether or not the person is actually deceased. Because of this, someone always has to watch the body to make sure they're not just in a coma. The funeral does not occur until
3 days later.
What if they are still alive? I thought you were dead.
Nope, I just got bored.
Well, I paid $3,000 for this funeral, and I'm not getting my money back, so...
Well, as a preventative measure, the family will often attach a bell to a chain that leads down into the grave. So if the corpse is actually not a corpse, well, they have a chance.
What an ingenious idea. But if a person has actually died, how exactly can our viewers go through the process of mourning their loved one?
Well, there are a lot of wonderful ways to grieve the deceased. One fairly common practice is taking a family photograph with the corpse as a way to preserve their memory. This is also referred to as memento mori. Smile for the camera!
But she's so heavy!
Don't let her fall! That's how she died the last time! Another way to commemorate them would be to make jewelry out of a lock of their hair and keep it with you at all times, as I have with my dearly departed Prince Albert's hair. Of course, it's also extremely fashionable. Click the link in the description down below and use the code JAMES for 10% off.
Ah yes, I should try that with some of my patient's hair. Continuing with the topic of fashion, what type of clothing is expected at a funeral?
Well, considering I am the leader of the country, I expect my subjects to emulate my mannerisms, especially when it comes to fashion. And as the queen, I expect only the most elaborate occasions, whether it be balls, weddings, or funerals. Hiring professional mourners and constructing the most elegant statues and mausoleums. And of course, everything must be black. The hearses, the horses, even the coffin. However, if the deceased is a child, I will allow everything to be white to symbolize their purity.
Ah yes, I am a professional mourner in my off time. But what if the children aren't pure?
Impossible! Every child is sweet and innocent.
Woo! Go the Patriots! Yes! Oh my gosh, I love them so much!
After the funeral, what is the correct etiquette when it comes to mourning a loved one? I feel it is vital for our viewers to be able to enjoy the full experience of having a relative meet a gruesome end.
Of course, only those of the highest caliber are able to experience and appreciate the eloquence of mourning. There are allotted periods of time people mourn according to their relation to the deceased. Widows mourn for 2 years, children and parents 1 year, grandparents and siblings 6 months, aunts and uncles 2 months, great aunts and uncles 6 weeks, and cousins 4 weeks. During this period, mourners are expected to not attend happy gatherings such as parties or weddings in order to fully embrace their spiritual darkness. Proper mourning attire is required to be black, often with some kind of a dark-colored veil for the women. However, as time goes on, the color gradually gets lighter, from mauve to gray to white.
But Your Majesty, you forgot to add that you are the one who started the fabulous trend of wearing mourning clothes for the rest of your life.
Ah yes, well, I didn't want to brag, but I guess I have made a little bit of a fashion statement.
Now that we've covered clothing, what about decoration of the deceased's gravesite?
Well, for all you viewers out there currently dying from some horrible disease, start saving up. You know you only deserve the best when it comes to your tombstones, and it's going to take a lot of work to make your corpse look good. Also, make sure you have good security. It's common nowadays for doctors to lurk around graveyards looking for a nice cadaver to dissect. I suggest continuing the trend of bricking over your grave. A few solid stones and no one is going to be taking a scalpel to your organs anytime soon.
Very helpful. I'll make sure to let all my colleagues know. So, our time is just about up. I have one last fairly general question. Are there any strange superstitions when it comes to mourning? Anything to help my dear viewers help their loved ones get into the afterlife?
Why, yes, indeed. There are, in fact, many tips and tricks to stop possession and start depression. Many people have started covering their mirrors in order to stop the dead spirit from getting trapped. It is also common to carry the deceased out feet first so they cannot look at those still in the house and possess them. And perhaps the superstition most impactful toward the recently deceased is the belief that if it is raining the day of the funeral, the person will go to heaven.
I will sing of your love and justice to you, O Lord. I will sing praise. I will be careful to lead a blameless life. When will you come to me?
Stop! This child is mine. Am I still getting paid?
Well, thank you for coming on my show and telling us about everything that you know about mourning. Thank you guys for watching another episode of Florence's Facts. Remember to stay happy and healthy so you won't have to pay for a funeral anytime soon. Be whoop!
Child, she never became a woman. She never got to see PewDiePie defeat T-Series.
Lasagna! Lasagna! Look at T-Series! They just trying for their mamas! Lasagna! Lasagna! Look at T-Series! They just went for pajamas!
That's good.
That's good.
Subscribe to PewDiePie!
No.
Rip. Dog.
Smile for the camera.
But she's so heavy!